Hello, everyone. Welcome. Lapiz here. I immediately heard some Nina Simone songs. The first one that I heard was Lilac Wine. And it's almost a song of like love, but not really love, but it's powerful. But I mean, the verse Lilac Wine, like my love, I'm unsteady. At least what she says. And I also heard, what is the song? I'll just wild, wild like the wind. That's what it's called. And then it's right after that. It says "On Wild the Wind." I actually think it's from the same album. Oh, love me some Nina. Piscean energy can be very significant too. They wear Pisces. Mental health issues can be also significant. Feeling like reaching your potential, your goal. A lot of Nina Simone energy pulling through here. But while like the wind, it's also a love song, essentially, kind of, I mean, not really. And that's kind of the energy I'm feeling because when I was lighting this candle, I set it down here. And this is kind of just it's gonna be moving throughout the reading and whatnot. And I like to bend and laugh and move and be shifted. And you know, really wasn't smart for me to have it where I had it. So for that, I put it up here and I was like, either way, it's kind of wild and reckless. And then meaning heard wild like the wind. And then reckless just kept coming out like wild, reckless. But it doesn't feel, it doesn't feel Spirit of Hilarious. It doesn't feel like Dennis the Menace type of energy, reckless, or you really like fucking shit up, shit is getting fucked up. Like it just feels a little bit more wild like the wind, cautionary to the wind. Oh my God, I'm just seeing so many channels, a lot of downloads for you. Very strong Piscean energy, being able to have that really strong connection with the spiritual realm and just being able to get it. And just like, oh, all right, slow down. Okay, we like everything. It's like I can see their messages almost weaving something, weaving a blanket. Oh, I say, I don't remember what it was off of. But we'll go with the one that I'm thinking of. It's not the one that I'm originally thinking of, but it also is kind of the same reference. But in My Little Pony, they have like the Apple family reunion, and there's a quilt that they've been like, for women, I believe. I've been like making since they were like kids, like even before Applejack was started, before Applejack's mom was started, type shit. And they were building it. And so when Applejack was in charge, she like kind of like, y'all still building it? No, we need to finish it. And they was bumping out things quicker than they were throughout the past family unions, but it took her a moment in time of allowing her to recognize that they were having a conversation while building is getting to know each other, catch up with each other, laugh and giggle, and really put that love and that care into each weaving of it. When it was, starting, it didn't look right, but then you see the progression. So that's not the original one with the quilt that I'm thinking of. And Spirit is saying it's because, ooh, Spirit is saying it's because when original thoughts get lost, sometimes they can be taken and recreated. But sometimes the original thought can never be thought of again, except for by the Creator. And I feel, oh, thank you, Spirit. That was a message. You have something that in your young years, which is funny because I thought of My Little Pony, kind of this young energy. In your younger years, that may have been wild and reckless, that may have thrown that caution to the wind, that may have been okay with being surrounded by multiple fires, which feels like passions, drives that push that force. And something revamped it into something else, changed it into something else, or morphed it, or dampened it, or you heard or felt I don't, and it shifted it to make it feel like the original thought, because it's almost like scene one was like, well, they already did it, they already set it up. Damn, I was just gonna have this. I remember my first ideas that I created before I came up with Brunch of Embrace was a prom, because I didn't enjoy my prom, and as we get older, I even still have the writing down in my book that I wrote years ago about me starting up the prom menu, the this, the Pinterest boards, all of it. And, I allowed people to add in their own opinions, not even constructive criticism, just their opinions, to the point where I changed it and worked into something else. Still very happy with the outcome, but it was almost recreated into something that was like a knockoff of my own original thought, my own original pattern, because it had other original thoughts, other original patterns. And so I just didn't do it. I changed it into something else. But the thought keeps coming back, keeps coming up, keeps doing it. I'm like, okay, all right, like, I would love that. And then I was talking with some friends, probably like a year and a half or so after that, maybe. Yeah, a year and a half or so after that, maybe. They're sitting at the table and they were talking about how they wanted to throw a prom. And I looked at our mutual friend and I was like, you remember I said I was going to throw a prom? Yes, I did. I was literally going to throw a prom. And it was like the idea came back. And I was like, you should definitely do it like that, especially, and I wanted it to, because it's like a lot of us are just now becoming who we truly want to be. And I was thinking, like, now I'm openly, like, because when I went to prom, I was not openly bisexual, like, at all. Not in the least, not in the most, not in the present. So just like this part of even just being able to set that up in a way where it's like, okay, we can really truly be queer, allowing people to really truly get into their fashion and what they want to wear and show, like, really do that. Like, shit, let me go ahead and set that up. Like, damn. And then the thought came back again. And it keeps coming back, and I keep seeing little things like, that'll be great to add some, that'll be great play styles, that'll be, wow, that's great, I like that. And then most recently, there was like a little stream around, and I'm like, this is getting out of hand. So I feel like it's the original thought will keep coming up, and it's a thought, thank you, Spirit. So I was reason, and I feel like there is a thought that keeps coming up, and it's like it keeps rearing its head. I keep saying, oh, it's already been done, or or I can't possibly go back to it, or it won't come out like this or that, or people gonna, and it's like, why? But this is not leaving me alone. The replications, the copies, the this and that, it will never be my original. I thought I'm the original creator. I'm the original person that lit the candle and decided where to place it, where to move it. And you're recognizing that. And that's why wild as a wind, because it's like you're blowing and breathing life back into that fire, because it is still lit. It's like, let me feed the flame, speak life into it, start jotting down ideas again, start setting up plans, start looking up things again. Places, collaborators, places to live, I'm hearing. Yeah, that collaborators one is coming out very strong. I say. It's really allowing you to become more adapt to the heat, to the flame, to not feel like even as soon as you open the oven, you're getting that immediate. I was like, no, I'm seeing somebody with cooking hands that is able to really touch and move and grab. I was like, your hands not, nope, not really. Like, my hands have become accustomed. This conversation that you have been having with spirit, that they're having with you, I share you, to continue to remind you of what is pushing you in the direction that I just keep hearing rearing its ugly head, that's really focused on you. and it is not letting you go. I haven't used these cards in a while. I love when I haven't used a deck in a while and I'm called to it. You know, especially since I don't move things around so much. If it's I gotta relax, but and I haven't used it in a while because at least for the collective, um, or for the collective, what I say, and just really allowing it, like, okay, there's really something out here that again hasn't been used in a while, hasn't been picked up in a while, hasn't been looked at in a while, hasn't been paid attention to. Something, and the fact that, like I said, old deck original, I did like, oh, spirit is working with you. Something is in the works for and with you, for this blessing, for this creation, for this going back. And it doesn't even have to be something extravagant is like a problem. It was just, yeah, like he's coming back to me. But it can be something as, you know what? It keeps coming back to me to do this. And I'm seeing like a hairstyle, clothing, a place to live that really keeps coming up. A place to live, a place to live. Where am I going to live? A place to live. It keeps coming. Like, where do I truly want to move? Where do I truly want to go? It's this pattern of like, maybe I should just set this up. Maybe I should just do this. Maybe I should just say this. Yeah, we got worthy and mournful coming in here. This is intuitive emotions. This is like that, your intuition, essentially. Your intuitional emotions, what you're feeling kind of right out the gate. And mournful is not necessarily a bad thing or a good thing. You know, it's something that happens when there is a loss of something. And I'm going to read that as well. And then physical emotions is worthy. Like I said, it's your body process. It keeps coming back to you, keeps laying on you. And it's recognizing that, okay, maybe I'm not going to do it like them, but I'm not supposed to. Maybe I'm not going to set it up this way, but I'm not supposed to. Getting back, I'm even seeing somebody getting back to old habits of how they would release and get that self-healing and that self-soothing, and not allowing that one person, they're like, why are you doing that? And you recognize, like, damn, why did I stop doing that? As soon as I stopped doing that, I started being kind. You know, other things is really trickling down and recognizing, no, I am worthy, I'm hearing of taking care of my body, taking care of my dreams, taking care of my family, my community, taking care of my love, taking care of my peace, taking care of all these things. And it has become a really, I'm hearing a long-winded process, but it got you there. I say, to read mournful, it says, mourning is the emotional process you experience and express to release and heal from loss of any kind. You may mourn the loss of a loved one, a trauma, or even the loss of an identity or a part of your life that is no longer present. Okay? Y'all was giving this naturally. Sometimes, when you work together, sometimes when you have a process that you are doing and it is allowing you to move in a way to accomplish goals. It could be challenges, hiccups, delays, or it can be going smoothly, or you feel like, okay, this is, you know, like, you know what, all right, it's getting there, like I can see it. But the process you're seeing, it's like you recognize it or you're comfortable with it. You know, you're like, oh, okay, all right, let's, you know, I see it every day. And then as soon as it's not there one day, it's like, hold on, why is it not there? I used to do this every day to it. And it feels like it is, because I'm not going to limit it. That's one for some. Take what you take, leave what you don't need, okay? It feels like you're mourning the part where you couldn't go back and bring something with you. This original creation, and you feel like if you were to have created it then because it keeps pulling at you, coming towards you, you start mourning the part of you that you can't bring back with you, which is that old self. The person that first thought of the idea. And so you're mourning someone being like, I should have done it. Like, now I'm gonna have to do it while I'm dealing with this. Now I'm gonna have to do it while I have this. Now I'm gonna have to do it and make time for it. Like, before I had all the time in the world. 2020 can be significant as well. When it felt like the world just had all the time in the world. But it's like you can't bring the original. But the original is still you. But it still doesn't hurt any less than where you feel like you would have been or could have experienced or developed. You like all of it. And allowing yourself to really invoke it. And I'm saying this in a way that's like, I hope this is like healing and soothing, because it really feels like a loss of being like, okay. It really does feel like it is an identity, but more so an old self. But with this original thought and you still being the original creator, just no longer that old self that first came up with it. That's where the worthy card comes in, your physical, right? Like I said, you were bringing life into the flame. Being able to, this is going to, there we go. Being able to utilize and recognize your worth. Like, okay, if I could create the idea and the idea keeps coming back to me, I'm worthy of holding this, holding space for it, holding time for it, holding loss, mourning of it, and allowing that to also be used to fuel what I need. It's just funny because this is the next top card. Good child, Ashe. A lot of this almost green, blue type energy. Like I said, it's giving me very Piscean energy. That shift, that 12th house energy. Lilac wine, drink some wine. At the surface level, being given recognition brings a feeling of worthiness. Diving deeper, worth is tethered to how well you treat or think about yourself. When you value yourself and act in accordance with those beliefs, it gives you a sense of purpose and belonging. And of course, I'm going to put all the crystals and stuff down below. Recognize that worth, that understanding, like I said, of who you are. You can conceptualize the idea, you can bring it into reality. Even if it's coming not the way that you were going to do it or will do it. You are worthy. Let's go through the physical emotions and we'll get to the energetic. We are strong. Yeah, give yourself that time to mourn. Yeah. True strength comes from a place of emotional intelligence, which allows you to find value in your experiences. The ability to navigate with clarity, tolerance, and a greater understanding builds emotional strength and resilience. Being emotionally strong comes from a willingness to be seen in all forms of vulnerability. You keep bringing up emotional vulnerability, emotional intelligence, This, You guys can know a Pisces, be Pisces, have Pisces in your chart, but this Piscean energy is coming up crazy. Like, I'm not even really like pulling you guys could like known a Pisces. I'm saying known as in like they're no longer here, but not like a this is yeah, it's like coming up to a point where it's like you really in your emotional intelligence, your emotional growth is linked to what you do or have not done sometimes in a very strong manner of like I only thought of it. And that thought keeps coming up because Piscean energy is really that creation of the mind, being able to push it out into the void. But people sometimes forget it's pushing out into the void. They are mutable signs. They're able to shift and change and move. And I feel like with this morning, you are no longer the person that had, even if you were, it's not an so it's like, okay, I was in this position where I had this, or I was around these people. It's really taking care of that loss, holding time, energy, space, recognition for it, taking care of that loss. So that way you can recognize that strength, like I said, is an emotional intelligence, it's a thing where people are always like, I'm not strong, I don't feel like it, I'm tired of those are emotions. And that they never really mention the actual physical, because even people that are sore and tired the next day still go to the gym. Even people that are, not really, like, what, my body just, and not saying like those moments where you don't take a break is when you're in that training period. And fermentation is what they call it. Fermentation for wine, for grapes. I like wine. We got thrill, which is your energetic and transformational flow. Like I said, you are breathing life into the flame. Energetic and transformation flow is the energy that you are building up, that you are going off of, that you are vibrating off, that you are creating to create a flow outside of your life. When you are thrilled, there is an intense feeling of being overjoyed. This powerful emotion physically cascades through the body, pushing you to new heights and to learning new things. It promotes creativity and an openness to life. The feeling comes in abundance when achieving a sought after goal, and it inspires others. Sought after, this is not something that's going to leave you alone. Don't be that person that's 9 or older on the deathbed, like, I should have done this. And each time I would do this and I would go and I would question if, it's like, no. Because at least if you did it, question it, like, did I do it the right way the first time? You have to start somewhere. You have to start somewhere. You got to your thought. Go back to those old files, those old papers if you got them, those old bookmarks. Reach out to those old contacts if you can or if you want to. When you need to, I'm hearing. Really get into it. Okay? Really get into it. Love you. Listen to some Nina Simone. Love yourself some more.